Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Anti-Perfect podcast. I am your host, Taryn Kalmayer, and I'm coming to you from Mexico City today. I have been here for a few days, just enjoying the city. If you've never been to the city, I could not recommend it more. It's such an interesting mix of different cultures and different cities within one contained city. Also, just so much richness in history, such incredible food, such incredible people. That's my little plug for Mexico City for the day. Haven't been, definitely check it out. But I'm recording from here today. And I have really just been noticing a lot of incredible synchronicities that have been happening in my journey here with the friend that I'm on this trip with. And we've been having a lot of conversations around the intuition and how intuition helps us in our daily lives to really know what kinds of decisions to make, how the intuition really shapes the ways that we are connecting with people. And so I thought it would be really fun to just talk about the topic of intuition and what the intuition really is, how we can really use it to our advantage, and also how to really listen to it on a deeper level. Because often we sometimes see our intuition as this like scary, almost woo-woo thing that we can't really explain. But there are so many ways to really deepen the understanding of your intuition through different practices that can be really easily put into your daily routine. And you'll notice the benefits from just being able to make way more balanced decisions and to just be able to discern in a way deeper way. And it's also just a really amazing self-inquiry tool to know yourself better. So if there's any question about why to develop your intuition, my first inquiry would always be why not? So it's just another tool to add to your toolkit. And honestly, it's something that we refer to so often in our lexicon in popular culture. I mean, you may have heard the term trusting your gut or the still small voice or an inner knowing. And all of those things, in some way or another, refer to the intuition, refer to that ability to know and understand without conscious reasoning, without conscious and structural understanding. So it's almost this ability to have the awareness for a decision that you need to make. And it's never in a judgmental way. It's never in a way that's kind of pertaining to good or bad. It's just in a way that is very quiet and very present and clear. The intuition speaks in clarity and it speaks in a very gentle and calm way. So that's how the intuition can really separate itself from the ego. But both of those parts of ourselves are really important to understand as we are getting to know ourselves in different ways and really starting to just understand how these things have impact on our relationships, on our lives, and on our work. I mean, our intuition has such an incredible way of discerning the decisions that are in alignment with the things that we're trying to get, in alignment with what would be for our best interest. And so it's a really special tool to develop within yourself. And to speak to the point that I was getting to earlier, the intuition is very different from the ego. And we touched on the ego briefly in my last episode. If you haven't checked it out, there's an episode that I did about identity. And so the ego is very much the identity, the self that we have constructed. It is our very practical and conscious version of ourselves with all of the labels, all of the different personalities, all of the different things that we've constructed over our lifetime to be who we are, but almost who we've created to be. That is our ego, and that kind of stands to one side of the the intuition, because it can almost trick us to seem like our intuition at times. It can almost feel like the things that are coming from our place of ego are actually instead coming from a place of intuition, which is why it's so important to learn the discernment between the two, because the ego is very loud and it's really forceful and really energetic and really needs our attention. It needs things to happen right now. It also tends to be a very much in a stream of thoughts or stream of consciousness kind of delivery, whereas the intuition comes in a very clear and very simple. It depends on how you receive your intuitive messages. Sometimes people feel things, sometimes they hear things, sometimes they see things, or they just, perceive signs or different synchronicities that are happening within their lives. And that's a really interesting differentiation to make between the ego and the intuition as well. And so obviously the ego really tries to keep you safe and the same. So it's coming from our more, ancient brain, the part of ourselves that is very much about survival and that comes with the fight flight response. Whereas the intuition really comes from a very different place within us. And the intuition is always trying to expand and grow you in some way. Or help you to see things from maybe another perspective or maybe in a different light. And so our intuition can really, really be seen as just almost like a little something sitting on our shoulder and whispering in our ear about the decisions that we are making, almost like our conscience, not our conscious, our conscience. And so, yeah, our intuitions can be a really powerful tool. And there are a few ways to actually really get in touch with the intuition that can be very practical. And obviously, these are tools that can be helpful for so many things. So I'm going to suggest some things here that even if you have absolutely no interest in developing your intuition, you should be adding these to your daily routine anyway, because they're just so helpful in helping you to really stay grounded and present in yourself, in your own system. And so one of the main recommendations I have for really being able to understand and get in touch with your intuition on a daily basis, I'm going to talk about in just a minute after a really quick little break. We're going to take a little breathing break. So if you just take a moment, if you are driving, if you are operating machinery of any type, please do not do this with us. But if you are just sitting and listening to this podcast, if you're watching on YouTube, then we're going to take a quick breathing break. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about how we can tap into our intuition. So I want you to take your right hand and just place it over your heart, over the center of your chest. Your heart is there somewhere. Maybe you can start to connect to the beat, feel that rhythm of your heartbeat. Good. And then starting to notice how you are breathing. Notice the rhythm of your heart and the rhythm of your breath. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Fill up into that top hand as much as possible. So breathe in, feel your hand expand, feel your heart expand. And then open your mouth, gently sigh out. And one more time, take a nice deep breath in through your nose, breathe into the hand, open your mouth, exhale, sigh that breath out. And then just keeping your hand there, just starting to listen to your heartbeat, listen to the flow of the breath, and just take a moment to say thank you, thanking the system that you have, and let's come on back. I hope that you enjoyed that really quick and very simple way of being able to get in touch with yourself and with your body in a very, very easy and very short practice. So again, whether you're using that practice to get in touch with your intuition, to deepen into your inner wisdom, or whether you're using that practice to just calm yourself down after a really stressful meeting, or maybe a really heightened or very high energy exchange with someone, or exchange with your client, whatever it may be. Use that in moments when you are looking to shift your state from a state of a heightened honking in traffic kind of setting to a way more calm and collected space. Good. So breath is clearly the first thing that I would recommend for getting in touch with your intuition, not just breathing, but meditating specifically. And the way that I suggest beginning to meditate is by learning how to control your breathing. Learning how to breathe properly is one of the best ways that you are going to be able to understand how to sit in a deep meditative state, because your breath is something that you have been gifted with. So it's kind of an automatic meditator for you. It can help you to get into a meditative state pretty simply. So once you learn how to control the breath, then you have the ability to learn how to move the thoughts from the mind and sit in a state of meditation and open up to other states as well. So this is a really amazing and important practice when it does come to just understanding your intuition and understanding yourself on a deeper level. Really dedicating to some kind of meditative practice can do such wonders for taking your understanding deeper. So there is number one, which is meditate to just deepen your sense of intuition. Number two, I would highly recommend doing a body scan on a daily basis. What a body scan is something that can also really just help you in terms of just getting in touch with how you're feeling on a regular basis, not only how you're feeling on an emotional level, but also on a physical level, on a mental level. I like to do a body scan when I start my day and when I end my day as well, because it's a really good way for me to check in with myself about how I've felt during the day, how my body is feeling, how my energy levels are. And then I can start to make plans based on that information that I'm getting. But so often we just wake up and jump into the day. We grab our phones, we're on our phones, and then we're in our day, we're with clients, we're all over the place. And that doesn't give us a good amount of time to actually just check in with our system before we jump in and help everyone else's system and get into everyone else's systems. It really helps to check in with our system first. What is happening with me today? How am I feeling? Are there any sensations in my body that maybe need my attention? Maybe I have like a little bit of pain in my shoulder from that workout that I did. Maybe my energy levels aren't great because I didn't sleep well last night. Making those noticing those small things within your system before you dive into your day can make such a huge difference to the way that you choose to show up throughout the day. It can also really, really help you to plan in a way that's going to actually be able to accommodate the energy that you have, the strength that you have, and the patience that you have sometimes for the day as well. So I would highly recommend doing a little quick check-in body scan at the beginning and end of your day. And all that looks like is very similar to what we were doing before. You can put a hand on your heart, maybe a hand on your belly, just so that you are connected to the rhythm of your body. By the rhythm of your body, I mean the heartbeat, I mean the breath, and any other sensations that you can feel throughout your body. So by being connected in that way, then you can start to inquire and take a scan all the way from the top of your head down through the facial muscles, in the neck muscles, through the arms, the shoulders, the chest, the torso, all the way down your system, and just notice, how am I feeling today? What does this part feel like? What does this part feel like? Am I feeling any sensations here? Do I feel any tightness there? Do I need to address that little bit of a tingle here on my elbow? Do I need to address that pain in my knee? All of those different things will speak to you. And when you allow your body to actually speak to you in this way, and not thinking about it in any other way than you are just listening to what your body is giving you, what the information that your body is giving you in this moment. So if I am laying or even just sitting up and I notice, oh, I feel a little bit of tightness in my stomach, and it feels like I have a little bit, I'm not entirely sure maybe if it's indigestion, or it feels like there's pain in my stomach. Once I become aware of that, I am giving my body the permission to express that, and I'm acknowledging that I feel that within my body. I had an incredible mentor once tell me that if you listen to your body when it whispers, you'll never have to hear it scream. And that has stuck with me so much because it's so often so true that we had these little signals from our bodies, in whether it's in a clear knowing of not having the right connection around you, the right connection to a person, or if there was something wrong in your body. There's always a moment before where you almost know that something is not as it should be, that you have the opportunity to either listen to or not. And so the intuition really is that voice. It's that constant feedback loop that your body is speaking to you with, that your mind is speaking to you with on a regular basis. And it's really a benefit to our systems, or to the owners of these systems, these meat suits, that we are listening to what those cues are sending us, to that headache that may just be happening because you're not drinking enough water, to that feeling that you actually have a little bit of, I don't know, gastric reflux when you eat something because you shouldn't be eating that food. So when you start listening to these small signals that your body sends you and you actually address it at the whisper phase, you're never going to have to hear your body scream. You're never going to get to that point where it's too much of a problem just because you've been ignoring the signals. But that is how the body will generally tend to speak. And the more in touch you can get with your body, the deeper you can get into your intuition as well. So that's number 2. So really being able to touch in with your intuition means meditating daily, doing a daily body scan. I'd say a twice a day body scan, because that's just such a great way to really tap in and tune into yourself. And then also really allowing yourself in different situations, allowing yourself to pay attention to the serendipities, to things that are happening on a seemingly coincidental timeline. If you may think of a friend in the morning, and then that same friend that hasn't sent you a text in months sends you a text or reaches out on social media, or whether it's you thinking of, an old song that you love and that you haven't heard in a long time, and then you go into I don't know, a place to pick up your laundry, and you hear that song come on the radio. So noticing when those kinds of things are happening often. You'll also hear people saying seeing numbers in sequence is a synchronicity or some kind of serendipity. I like to just think of when I do see those numbers in reoccurring sets. So if I see like 1111 or 222 or 1234, or any of those kinds of numbers, I really just love to think of those as kind of starting points and really checking in with my mindset in that moment. Am I maybe going through something that, or like having a thought that is starting something new or initiating something? Am I in a space or a place of rumination about something that I shouldn't be? So whenever I do see those numbers in sequence, then it usually just causes me to check in with what I'm thinking. So it's almost like my signal to do a body scan, my signal to do a check-in, or to take a breath. And that can be a really beautiful way to also just acknowledge your intuition, acknowledge that this thing is present for you, that thing is happening for you. And then lastly, my last tip for getting in touch with your intuition, I think it's a really hard one. It's a coin toss. I might even have to throw a bonus in here. But one thing that's been really helping me in terms of not only my intuition, but also just helping me with my ideas, with planning out my days, is scheduling time to think into my days. And whether that's time to think about a certain project, or time to think about a relationship, or a time to think about whatever it is you want to think about, you can also schedule in time to daydream, which is just beautiful to be able to let your mind wander around things that feel amazing and fantastical and whimsical and, really exciting for you, things that do excite and engage something electric within you, to really encourage you to push toward maybe an unknown border or an unknown boundary. And so giving yourself time to think or daydream can be such a special moment to plug into your day. But I'm also going to just mention this last one as a little bonus, just as a little bonus. I can't help myself. And that is really, to get in touch with your intuition means being able to get in touch with your feelings, to be able to understand how you're feeling, to be able to express how you're feeling to someone else without, kind of like pushing your feelings out onto people or projecting your feelings out onto other people, being able to own your feelings, speak to the feeling that you are having, and also just understand how to find where that feeling might be in your body. And all of these are very body-based practices because it is very much about knowing yourself. And so really learning how to tap into that feeling of today I'm feeling sad and letting yourself follow that trail. Today I'm feeling a little bit excited and letting yourself really deepen into what that feeling is like, what the quality of that feeling is, where the feeling sits in your body, where the feeling may show up for you, and when the feeling may show up for you. So taking time to really allow yourself to feel is a really beautiful practice and an incredible way to just allow your intuition to start to speak to you in ways that can feel so special and so very intimate to your experience. And I hope that it's something that you do choose to engage with, because there are incredible things to be discovered. The more you discover about yourself, the deeper into the understanding of your own systems and your own energy that you do get, the better it is, the more it expands. As I said at the beginning, the purpose of the intuition, all the intuition wants, is to expand you and to grow you. And so what is possible when you really fully lean into that, when you show yourself that you trust yourself, when you give yourself those moments of pause and rest and respect enough to just take some time to think and dream and process, rather than being constantly swept in this continual loop of over information and these cycles of too much and overwhelm. Giving yourself space to be able to actually tap in. I hope that you decide to try a couple of these practices. I hope you decide to integrate a little bit of this into your days. I would love to know your experience with your intuition. I think the special thing about the intuition is that, again, no matter what we call it, every single one of us has an experience with it. Every single one of us has had that moment of knowing, and not even knowing how you know, but you just know that something is either right for you or wrong for you, or something needs to happen, or you need to tell someone something. It's such an interesting experience. And so I would love for you to share the last time that you can remember having an intuitive experience that you could not ignore, that something, it doesn't even have to be something that huge that happened, but something that just confirmed your experience of knowing. And as you think about that, you may notice some more pop up. So I hope that this has been a interesting and informative session for you. I really, really would love to hear your stories. If you would love to, if you would like to share them with me, and please subscribe. I mean, I'm here telling some stories, feeling some feelings, and just going through my own process to create this. It's been really amazing to tap into the information that I want to share and the things that have been really helpful for me in my journey. And I'm so excited to continue sharing all of that with you as well. So please do continue to follow the journey, subscribe, like, share with someone that you think may need this, or may just need a little bit of inspiration to tap into their intuition today. And I hope that you have a brilliant rest of your day, night, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I'm sending you love. And until we meet again, until our paths cross again, my friends, stay well.